Hey guys, in this video, I want to share some information from the SBA and the CARES Act regarding the PPP loan and debt forgiveness. I want to preface by saying that I don't know everything, I don't understand everything, and information is just coming left and right. So I think it's really important that you keep in communication with your accountant at this time. But with that said, let's get started. Number one, to be considered for debt forgiveness, you have to use the proceeds for only certain expenses and within a certain period of time. The proceeds first and foremost are to be used for payroll costs. And payroll costs include compensation paid to employees, but qualifying amounts for compensation are capped at $15,385 per employee. That's $100,000 annualized. Payroll costs also include employee benefits such as healthcare and retirement plan contributions, and also paid leave of absences such as vacation, family, parental, medical, and sick pay. For the purposes of PPP debt forgiveness, payroll cost does not include compensation above capped amounts or compensation paid to employees that reside outside of the U.S. What's also not included is the employer's portion of federal payroll taxes or sick pay that is eligible for credits under the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. Schedule C filers will also be able to include owner's compensation replacement, which is 8 weeks worth of the 2019 net profit from Schedule C. For partnerships, the SBA has indicated that they can include the self-employment income of general active partners, but there's not a whole lot of guidance on that, so hoping for more. Aside from payroll costs, other qualifying costs will be mortgage interest, rent, and utilities. But the related mortgage, lease agreement, and utility services must have been in place or in effect by February 15 of 2020. Also, I know this is true for Schedule C filers, that these are only going to be qualifying expenses if you also had these kinds of expenses last year. I don't know if this applies to other business entities, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did, so just something to be aware of. Part of the criteria for being considered for full forgiveness is that you have to use at least 75% of the loan towards payroll costs, and you have to use up the full loan within 8 weeks of being issued the loan. Number two, your debt forgiveness will be reduced if you decreased full-time employee headcount or if you decrease by more than 25% the compensation of any employee that made less than $100,000 last year. If you made these changes between February 15 and April 26, then you have until June 30 to restore your payroll and headcount levels. Number three, you might already know that you can defer your 941 tax deposits for amounts that are otherwise due between March 27 to December 31st, 2020. This is whether or not you got the PPP loan. However, once you find out that you qualify for debt forgiveness, you are no longer allowed to defer your tax payments. Number four, if you receive PPP proceeds, you are not allowed to take the employee retention credit. This is whether or not you receive any sort of debt forgiveness. Number five, if you receive the Eid L Advance in addition to PPP, then the amount of that advance will reduce your debt forgiveness. Number six, any debt forgiveness of the PPP loan will not be taxed federally, but state might be a different story. States with rolling conformity typically adopt any new federal code. So if you live in one of those states, more likely than not, your debt forgiveness won't be taxable. However, all the other states that don't have rolling conformity, they need to decide whether or not they're going to adopt the non-taxability of the PPP debt forgiveness. So if you live in one of those states, you just kind of want to be aware of that. Keep yourself updated. Number seven, if you have any debt that ends up not being forgiven, Just know that payment is automatically deferred for 6 months, although interest will start accruing immediately. And that is it, folks. I believe that's all I have to share about the PPP loan and debt forgiveness. But like I said, they're always coming out with new information, it seems, so we'll see. But thank you so much for joining me in this video.